श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम हरे राम कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare श्री नाम संकीर्तन की
जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्रीनिवास गोविंद वेंकटरमण गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद वेंकटरमण गोविंद गोविंद हरि गोविंद गोविंद हरि गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद वेंकटरमण गोविंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे। जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय। प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रीनिवास बालाजी भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरु दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So I'd like to welcome all of you for continuing our Balaji Katha that we began yesterday. We discussed, we reached to the point of Bhrigu Muni testing, right? All the sages coming together, and Narada, inspired by Brahmaji, who comes to the assembly of the sages to inspire them to find out who is supreme, for whose pleasure are we doing this sacrifice. And they choose Bhrigu Muni to find out who amongst the three Murtis, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, who is supreme. Right? So before we begin today's discussion, can we have the verse displayed? Madhya Leela, is there? Okay. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after accepting sannyas, he stayed at Shantipur. He actually was cheated and brought to Shantipur by Nityanand Prabhu, and from there he came to Jagannath Puri after taking blessings of his mother, and he hardly stayed for a couple of months, and he decided, I want to go to Dakshina Bharata, right? Dakshina Desh Uddharite Korila Chal. Right? He actually he told the devotees in Jagannath Puri who were not allowing him to leave, not actually blessing him to leave. He told everyone that I am going out in search of my elder brother Vishwarup, who accepted sannyas, but we never got to know anything about him. So I want to go and search for him. But actually, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says he went about Dakshina Bharata, Uddharite Korila Chal, to offer bhakti, to offer devotional service to everyone, to spread the Nama Sankirtan. He went about the entire South India trip. Right? So in his South India yatra, he reaches Tirumala. So that's the verse. This is Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhyalila, first chapter, 105th verse. Trimalla Tripadi Sthana Koila Darshan Sarvatra Korila Krishna Nama Pracharan. Trimalla Tripadi Sthana Koila Darshan Sarvatra Korila Krishna Nama Pracharan. Trimalla Tripadi Sthana Koila Darshan Sarvatra Korila Krishna Nama Pracharan. Anybody would like to say it?
Trimalla Tripadi Sthana Kaila Darshan Sarvatra Karila Krishna Nama Pracharan.
Any more? The translation and purport is like this. Translation: he visited the places known as Tirumala and Tirupati, where he extensively preached the chanting of the Lord's holy name. Purport. So Srila Prabhupada gives the geographical details. This holy place is situated in the district of Tanjore, Chittoor, South India. The temple of Tirupati is situated in the valley of Venkatachala and contains a deity of Lord Ramachandra. Kodandaram temple is very famous in Tirupati. So that Prabhupada is mentioning that. On top of Venkatachala is the famous temple of Balaji. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Tirumala, Tirupati, and had darshan of Balaji. So Srila Prabhupada, like we discussed yesterday, Srila Prabhupada also visited Tirupati, and the pujaris there, SPL TTD, arranged for darshan for him, and 3-4 times during the week-long stay that he was there, Srila Prabhupada was given special darshan that he could, like all of us have experienced, hours and hours of climb up the hill, and we hardly get few seconds of darshan, right? But then Srila Prabhupada, when he came along with his disciples, Srila Prabhupada was given exclusive darshan. Prabhupada could stand there, offer prayers, and Prabhupada was very pleased when he had darshan there. So just as for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, for all of us, 3 places are very important. Three dhamas, as we can call it, the major places. One is Jagannath Puri, where Lord Krishna is standing there as Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra. He is there giving darshan. Then we have Mayapur, which is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace. And then we have Vrindavan, where Krishna performed his pastimes. Similarly, for Sri Sampradaya devotees, 4 or 5 places are very important. The first one is Srirangam, which is a very important place. Then we have Tiruvananthapuram or Melukottai, one of those two we can see. The third is Kanchipuram, where Lord Varadaraj resides. And then there is Tirupati. So these places are very, very important for the Sri Vaishnavas. And out of that, from yesterday we have begun discussing on Tirupati, this Thanam, and especially the deity of Balaji there. Srila Prabhupada mentioned how it is Govinda, it is Krishna, whom Vasudev addressed as Bala, right? Balaji, out of respect. Right? So, yesterday we discussed a few details about the Bhrigu Muni pastime, and we reached to the point that Bhrigu Muni hit the Lord on his chest, right? And the Lord, rather than getting angry, right, Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayana, he got hold of, he took Bhrigu Muni's feet and said, your feet may have got hurt, right? My chest is so hard. Actually, on the chest of the Lord, he's Srinivasa. On the chest of the Lord, Lakshmi resides, right? And what was the expectation of Bhrigu? Bhrigu's expectation was that when I went to Brahma and I did not offer any respects, right? What happened to Brahma? Brahma got angry. When it was Lord Shiva, he actually disrespected him. Right? He used words of disrespect, and that, made Lord Shiva very angry. The expectation here was that the reaction here should have been even more severe, because here he has just come in and hit the Lord on his chest. But Lord Vishnu, being beyond the three modes, right? And so what Lord Vishnu, he gets down from his Ananta Shesha bed and he's actually massaging Bhrigu's feet. And we discussed yesterday how Lord washed his feet, and then all the personalities around the Lord was not angry, but Lakshmi ji got angry. Garuda was angry, right? Ananta was angry, right? Vishwaksena was angry. But how did the Lord pacify them? He took the foot wash, the same water, and sprinkled on each of them, right? So Lakshmi ji holds on to the anger, right? And Lakshmi ji feels this should not have happened, right? These Brahmanas, they're worshipping my Lord, but today they are coming in and kicking the Lord and right in front of me, and I had to, see this offense. And she feels, for atoning for this offense, that I just had to watch my Lord being disrespected like this. Lakshmi ji decides, I will go to Bhuloka, I will go to Kolhapur, and I will perform tapasya there. Right? So, those of you who have been to Kolhapur, you may have taken darshan of Mahalakshmi there. Right? So, Lakshmi ji residing there, what is she doing? She is performing tapasya. And the tapasya is to atone for the offense that she had to, observe. So, Srila Prabhupada would time and again tell us we should be very careful with offenses. Offenses may happen when we are worshipping the deities. Offenses happen when we are dealing with scriptures, offenses to holy name, offenses to devotees. Srila Prabhupada would always caution, especially as devotees, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, when we are practicing devotional service, we should be very careful with these offenses. These offenses, they stop our progress on the path of bhakti. Right? So there can be a detailed discussion on that, but from Mother Lakshmi's response, we can take a lesson. If you cannot do anything about it, get away from that place. Wherever we find there is the zone where some offenses are going on, I just relieve myself from that place and go to a place where I can once again deepen my Krishna consciousness practice. So Lakshmi ji comes to Kolhapur and she is residing there. But the Lord is known as Srinivasa, right? Srinivasa, with whom Lakshmi ji always resides. But now Lakshmi ji is not around in Shvetadvip. So Lord Narayana, very soon he feels separation from Lakshmi ji, right? So you'll find Lord Ram, Sita was taken away, so Lord Ram experienced separation from him. And Lord Ram went about to bring back Sita. Here also you find Srinivasa, Lord Narayan, he goes about and he comes to the Bhuloka to bring back Lakshmi ji, right? So the whole game plan was, Brahmaji wanted that the Lord appears, especially for the sake of the jivas in Kali Yuga. He appears as Venkateshwara, So how to bring about the Lord? So Narada was inspired, and Narada then went to the assembly of the sages, and Bhrigu Muni was chosen, and Bhrigu Muni kicked, and this is how Lakshmi ji is now angry, and Lakshmi ji comes to Kolhapur, and now the Lord Srinivasa, he comes down on to the Bhuloka to bring back Lakshmi ji. Right? So this is the pastime. This is what we discussed yesterday. Now, when the Lord appears in this world Bhuloka, he chooses this area, these hills, to reside there. Especially, Lord resides in an ant hill. Right? There's an ant hill on the top. Lord goes in, and Lord is performing tapasya there, right? Performing tapasya so that he can once again attract Lakshmi ji, and Lakshmi ji can reside with him, right? So when Srinivasa is traveling in this area, he makes a residence here under a large ant hill and close to a tamarind tree. He's performing tapasya there, not eating, not sleeping, just meditating on Lakshmi Devi, how to bring her back, right? But when Lord is performing tapasya, the devotees, they feel very bad. Oh, what is this? Our Lord is performing tapasya. Like we keep fasting on Ekadashi, but we don't fast. We don't give. We don't make the deities fast, right? The Lord is the enjoyer, and we are meant to be the servants. So when Brahmaji understood that my desire was to bring the Lord to Bhuloka, but this was a complete twist in the story. That Lakshmi ji is angry, she's at another place, the Lord is here, he's performing his tapa, he's performing tapa here. So Brahmaji and Lord Shiva, they devise a plan that something needs to be done about this. So Brahma and Shiva, they come down to earth, and they approach Lakshmi ji in Kolhapur and request her that something needs to be done about it. So Lakshmi ji says, yes, I'll help you, assist you, but yes, I want to remain in Kolhapur until and unless this offense gets atoned from my side completely. And I think I told you yesterday, she was so angry that she even cursed the entire Brahmana clan, that they will always remain poor. Right? They'll always remain poor. And Bhrigu Muni is known to be, when such a curse was pronounced on the entire Brahmana clan, then Bhrigu Muni said, it happened because of me, so I will also save and assist Brahmanas. He wrote Bhrigu Samhita, right? This Bhrigu Samhita. So Bhrigu thought, maybe we cannot go to anybody, they will come to us because we have some knowledge, as Bhrigu Samhita, right? And this Bhrigu Samhita is very famous. Our Indradyumna Sai Maharaj, he writes in one of his diary entries that somebody told him, this Bhrigu Samhita is prediction of, about people, about future, right? And when you go to these Bhrigu Samhitas, there are many offices they have in India. They have one in Jaipur where Maharaj writes that he visited. From Vrindavan he travelled. Somebody told him, this is the office and there you can go. And Maharaj says, when I arrived there, one person came out of the office and said, is this your name? Is this where are you from? Thank you for coming. We were expecting you. Maharaj writes in his diary like that, diary entry. He says, whoa, how do you know? He said, everything is written about you, right? And we have it. And Maharaj was told how in the last life he was a king in Karnataka. In the Devana Sai Maharaj was like that. And everything about his, meeting Prabhupada, he's preaching Krishna consciousness around the world, and that you are doing festivals. Maharaj was told that you are going to add a few more countries in these festivals. Everything was informed to him by this. So, who wrote this? Bhrigu wrote it when the curse was pronounced, that I will write a samhita by which the Brahmanas will get knowledge and people will come to them anyhow. Right? So that happened. So now when Brahma approached Shiva and they together went to Lakshmi Devi in Kolhapur, they devised a plan how to feed Srinivasa. How to feed Lord Srinivasa, who's performing the tapasya under the ant hill. Now Brahmaji became a cow, and Lord Shiva, he became a calf. And Mother Lakshmi, she took a form of a cowherd girl, right? And three of them, right? And she had a little stick, and she led the cow and the calf to a place by the name Narayanpur, right? and this was the capital of the kings of the Chola dynasty. And this girl took the cow and the calf, and he told the gatekeepers, I want the audience of the king and the queen, because I have this very special cow, right? And this cow's milk is very sweet, right? And she can give abundant supply of milk. And when the king and queen heard it about the super excellent cow and the calf, they asked, what do you want? So she said, I want to sell it. I want a very good price for this cow and the calf. And the queen, she agreed to pay. Yes, we are willing to pay. And they paid a very good large price for it, right? So Srila Prabhupada also, when Srila Prabhupada was one time in New York City, devotees arranged a program for him at the Manhattan Island. And when Srila Prabhupada, and they went out giving flyers to people, passing them on the streets in the thousands. And it was a free admission, right? The program was arranged, it was free. Swami is going to speak, and Kirtan and Prasadam at the end, and the flyers were distributed. And when Swamiji came, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is going to arrive. And when Prabhupada came on the dais, Prabhupada saw there were only 4 or 5 people. When there should have been, the capacity was more than 1,000 for that hall. And Prabhupada saw 4 or 5 people there. At the end of a lecture that Prabhupada gave amazing lecture, as if thousands are sitting in front of him. But later in the evening, when Prabhupada met devotees, Prabhupada said, why did you not get the audience? Prabhupada said, because you made it free. When you keep it free, then people take it cheap. You should have kept some cost to it. And Prabhupada told devotees a story. Prabhupada said, in Bengal, Prabhupada says, I told you should have charged some money for the program. Prabhupada says, in Bengal, there is a story of a man offering people free mangoes. And when he was offering free mangoes, people were doubting. There must be some problem with the mangoes. That's why he's giving out free. But as soon as he charged for those mangoes, people wanted to pay the price to check what is there in these mangoes. What is, are they worth? So Prabhupada says, when people see that something is free, then they take it as worthless. Prabhupada said, when we are offering Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said you should have kept some price for it. I was one time asking His Grace Gaur Gopal Prabhu, right, if he ever got any instruction from Radhanath Swami Maharaj for preaching, right, now that he's preaching so much. And he said, only one instruction I got. You should be sincere and go for the, at the program venue and give the program. Even if nobody comes, you should continue speaking, right? So he said that so many programs I began, but this was the instruction that I had received, that we have to be committed for the program. And Srila Prabhupada telling devotees, part of it is, Prabhupada told devotees, because you kept it free. So Lakshmiji did not give the cow and the calf free. She took a good heavy charge for it. And when the price was paid, the cow and the calf were given to the king. And the king got a cowherd man to take care of this cow, to take the cow and the calf to the cow to the pasture ground to graze. And every evening when they would come back, he would bring back the cows. This special cow was looked after and especially was milked. But the cow would not give any milk. Days and days passed like that, and there was no milk from the cow. And the queen was inquiring, what's going on? I have paid such. See, I am doubting that you are drinking the milk. you are selling off the milk somewhere in between. And this man, he pleaded that I am not guilty. I am not drinking it. I am not stealing it. I am honest. Ultimately, the queen threatened the coward man, if tomorrow there is no milk, you will be punished with your life. This person said something needs to be done. Then he understood his mistake. His mistake was somewhere in the afternoon, this guy, while the cows would graze, this person would go and sleep. But that day, this cowherd man, what did he do? He feigned that he's sleeping. He kept his eyes closed, but he was actually not sleeping. And he was observing what's going on. And he observed that as soon as this cowherd man would lie down and about to sleep, this cow would go to that particular ant hill and profusely give off her milk, right? Profusely pour her milk. And he was wondering what's going on. Why is this cow behaving like this, right? And but this man understood this cow is, there is some issue here, there is some problem here, but I will have to pay, with my life. And this coward man, in a rage of fury, he picked up an axe. He picked up an axe and attacked the cow. He hurled it at the cow. But because Lord Srinivasa, Srila Prabhupada has taught us the verse that the Lord is protector of the cows. Who can tell me the verse? Help me. Go Brahmana Hitayacha. Right? Lord is Go Brahmana Hitayacha. So when the axe was hurled at this cow, Lord Srinivasa, who is performing his, his meditation, his tapasya on Lakshmi ji, he is meditating. But he came out, and to save the cow, actually the axe hit Srinivasa on the forehead, right? And profuse blood was coming out of it. And this man, when he saw this beautiful personality, right, who came out of the anthill, and the axe has hit, and there's so much blood, he literally fell down unconscious. And the news reached the king of what happened in the forest, and he came running to that place. He saw his servant, the cowherd man, he was lying unconscious. And the king thought, my man is dead. He was supposed to take care of the cow. But then he saw the blood all around, and he couldn't understand what's going on here, right? Then Srinivas explained exactly what happened there, right? And the king begged for forgiveness from Srinivasa. And then the story goes that Srinivasa requested Brahaspati that there is so much, blood and, so much thing, so much wound. The wound is there. How to heal this wound now? What should be the medicine, right? So those of you who have taken darshan of Balaji, you will see huge tilak they'll put, Kasturi tilakam, right? So that tilakam identifies that, there was, that the axe had hit. There is one more axe story that I'll come to it. So let us see how much can we do it today. Okay. So Brahaspati was called for, and Brahaspati told that Brahaspati was asked for the herbal remedy to alleviate the pain and injury of the head of Srinivasa. So Brahaspati explained exactly which herbs were required, and these herbs were searched for. And at that time, Srinivasa reaches the Varaha Kshetra, right, where Lord Varahadev resides. So Varahadev was requested for a place to stay by Srinivasa, and Lord Varaha agreed that, close to the Pushkarini, which is Sri Pushkarini is there. Lord Varaha gave a place for Lord Srinivasa to stay. And what would be the price? The price was, Lord Srinivasa agreed that very soon, millions and millions of my devotees would come to take my darshan at this place. So whenever they come, they will first take darshan of Varahadev, and then only Lord Srinivasa's darshan, right? So many a times people, when they go to Tirupati, they think they're in such a hurry of taking darshan of Hari, right? They quickly stand in the queue and they feel that we will take Balaji's darshan. But it was Lord Balaji who had given his word to Varahadev that my devotees, when they come up here, they will first take your darshan. So generally devotees will go take bath in Pushkarini and then take Varahadev's darshan, and then only you go and take Lord Balaji's darshan. So Varaha Bhagavan, Lord Varaha, after killing Hiranyaksha, he had taken residence of this place. So this entire that Kshetra belonged to Varahadev, and this part of the Tirumala hills was given to Srinivasa to reside. So Lord Varaha made that donation of the land, temple land for Srinivas Balaji. Then Lord Varahadev introduces Srinivasa to a lady whom Lord Varaha tells that she is your eternal mother who is living with me. Her name is Bakula Mallika or Bakula Devi, and she will take care of you, she will nurse you, and she will apply all the herbs that are available in this area. And right, and Bakula Devi started serving Srinivasa like his mother, right? So Bakula embraced Srinivasa. She gathered all herbs and placed it with camphor and saffron and musk and all sacred ingredients she collected. She made a paste out of it, and Balaji's forehead it was applied, right? And to honor the love of Bakula Devi, right, and to remember the Lord's willingness to accept her offering of this service, Lord Venkateshwara, he every day is applied that paste on his forehead. So one time while Srinivasa is being taken care of by Bakula Devi, Srinivasa he requests Bakula Devi if I can go for hunting. In the forest on the top of the hill there were a lot of wild animals and they were troubling innocent people. So Srinivasa told Bakula that I want to go out on hunting excursion to protect these innocent creatures from dangerous animals. And as a mother, she said, no, it's a strange place, it's a dangerous place, you should not go. But the Lord insisted, and Bakula Devi said, okay, you could go. And Lord Srinivasa, he rode on a horse, and first he saw an elephant. And he drove behind the elephant, and the story goes that the elephant enters a garden, and suddenly the elephant vanishes. Right? And Lord Srinivasa reaches there, and in the garden there is a beautiful princess sitting there by the name Padmavati along with her maid servants. And she's suddenly shocked to see that elephant in front, and the elephant vanishes. And then comes Lord Srinivasa in front of her. Right? He gets down from his horse, and their eternal, Padmavati is eternal consort of Lord Srinivasa. As soon as Lord Srinivasa sees her, there's a natural attraction between two of them, and Srinivasa decides, I want to marry her, and he proposes her. But then she says, no, it cannot happen like this, right? My parents, right, unless they permit this our marriage, it cannot happen. So Srinivasa has to go back to whom? He will have to go back to Bakula Devi, who is the mother. And he requests, actually he is very sorrow, he looked very unhappy. And the mother has to ask, right? What happened, beta? What's going on? Is there some issue? And Srinivasa explains that I'm in love with this girl, but I cannot go near her because her friends, they threw stones at me, they chased me away. And Bakula Mallika says, oh, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. How come you can get enchanted by a mere mortal girl? This should not be any mortal girl of this world. She must be Lakshmi herself, right? So Srinivasa tells the whole story to Bakula Devi, and this story is about Vedavati, right? And this story takes us the connection of this story is to Ramayana, right? So Vedavati, there was a king in the Treta Yuga by the name Kushadhvaja. This king had a daughter who was born out of a yajna. Right? And when they were tilling the land and they got this baby girl, and this girl was so beautiful, ocean of good qualities, right? And when she was of a marriageable age, many kings and many princes, they wanted to have her hand in marriage. But this girl, she always wanted to marry Vishnu. She told her father, I can only see that I can only be a wife to Vishnu, or I can only, so she is Vedavati, and she understood that the father understood that only Lord Vishnu is suitable for her to be her husband, but how to attain Lord Vishnu? So Vedavati decided, I will go perform tapasya in the Himalayas. And Vedavati's determination is so famous, right? It is discussed so often in terms of determination, this quality. Srila Prabhupada one time, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada in New Vrindavan, Prabhupada, what if we do not have determination? When we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we want to practice We want to advance on the spiritual path, but if we lack determination, Srila Prabhupada said, if you do not have determination, then you must be an animal. Prabhupada said. Yeah. Only an animal will not be determined. An animal, Prabhupada said, if the animal is caught and if the owner only chops off its head, the animal will not protest also. Yeah? Please chop off my head. Right? Prabhupada said, if you are human, right, you must have determination. So Vedavati's determination was such, she decided, I will perform tapasya for lifetimes. Right? I would not mind the harsh winters. I would not mind the troubles that I'll have to go through, but I can only belong to Lord Vishnu and no one else. And while she was performing this tapasya, Ramayana tells us that Ravana happened to pass by. Right? And she was effulgent due to this tapasya, and Ravana, he had lusty intentions towards her. Right? He tried to force himself, right, on her, but Ravana could catch her hairs, and by the time he could catch her hairs, she, with a strike of her hand, she cut off those hairs. But she told Ravana that because you have touched me, I have become defiled like this. You cannot have me. And from her own body, she brought out fire, and she burnt herself that way. And she said, this body cannot be touched by anyone. Because I only belong to Lord Vishnu. So, no matter how much Ravana enticed, she said, no, I cannot. And when Mother Sita, in Ramayana we see that when Mother Sita, Ravana came to capture Sita. So, when Sita came out of the house, right, my dharma of performing charity, we are grahasthas and we are supposed to perform charity. Mother Sita comes by, and when Ravana is trying to take her away, what happens is this Sita and Vedavati get exchanged. Right? So Sita is accepted by Agnideva, in his shelter, and Vedavati is offered. Right? And Ravana actually carries Vedavati along with him to Lanka. And at Lanka, once again, her determination gets tested. Vedavati goes through all the troubles that Ravana offers. Right? And when Lord Ram wins over Lanka, Ravana is killed, Sita is brought back, then we can recollect that then the Sita's Agni Pariksha happens. Sita is tested through fire. So now Vedavati, who was taken by Ravana, she enters fire, Agni, and Agnidev once again offers back Sita to Ram. Right? So that's the whole story. Right? So, this Vedavati, she is considered the emblem of chastity and patience. All throughout, she is going through lifetimes of tapasya on the Himalayas, then has to go through what Ravana, in Lanka, right? And then that's how she served Lord Ram, right? So Mother Sita said to Lord Ram that we can have Vedavati along, you can marry her. But Lord Ram told Sita, no. In this appearance of mine, I have taken a vow of Ek Patni Vrata, only one wife I'll accept. But in the next yuga, when I appear, what will happen? I will then accept Vedavati. So, who can recollect why are we here about Vedavati's story? Padmavati. Bakula Devi is being explained by Lord Srinivasa. Why is he attracted to her? Right? Because Vedavati is what is Padmavati, who has appeared in this yuga to become the consort of Lord Balaji. Right? So, I will cut the story short. Then Bakula Devi goes, she understands, okay, yes, there is some spiritual thing here, there's some eternal, relationship here. So Bakul Malika goes to negotiate for marriage. Right? So there is a Kapileshwar Mahadev, right, temple of Lord Shiva. So she finds the maid servants of Padmavati offering very fervent prayers. So Bakula Devi asked them, that ever since our princess, so they tell Bakula Devi that ever since our princess Padmavati, she has left that garden, right? She has, she saw this strange hunter. She has fallen deadly sick. She has very high fever, and the king and the queen, Aksharaj and Dharani Devi, they have brought the best doctors for Padmavati, but she is not getting healed. And Bakula Devi requests them, I can come along, right? Please bring me to mother and father, right? And I will help. And before Bakula Devi arrives there, Srinivasa decides, I need to do something about it also, right? My mother is going and going to ask for her hand in marriage, but I need to prepare her also. So Srinivasa takes the form of a gypsy woman, uh, a forest woman, and this gypsy woman, she tells the friends of Padmavati that I know some magic spells, and I know some very serious. I have understanding of astrology, and if you take me to Padmavati, you know I can see her hand and I can tell future, right? And so Srinivasa, as a gypsy woman, is taken into the inside quarters, and Padmavati, shows her palm to this gypsy woman, and he looks at her palm and then tells the whole story that you are attracted like this, and then Srinivasa says, I am the same person right here in front of you, and she's so happy. She's so happy to see Srinivas, and right then Aksharaj consults Shuka, because the father has to check, right? The mother has come and the daughter is attracted, but the father has to be worried. Father is worried, is the prospective groom okay to be married to their daughter? So Aksharaj, he goes to Sage Shuka, and Sage Shuka comes out with the entire details: who is Srinivasa, who is Padmavati, and the father is pleased. Yes, yes, everything is wonderful, and this marriage can happen. So an opportune date is chosen, and the marriage ceremony is was decided to be happening on that particular day. And all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Vayu, Agni, Surya, Yamraj, everyone was called for. Everyone came, and large crowds of respectable people, and everyone is happy. But what is the problem? All arrangements were being made. The question was, how are you going to feed all these people, right? And how will be Shri Radha Nilmada Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now the decorations were to be arranged. All the guests were supposed to be fed sumptuous prasadam. So Brahmaji, so Srinivas asked Lord Brahma, how do I arrange? I am performing tapasya here. My Lakshmi is in Kolhapur, away from me. How do I make this arrangement? You need money. So Brahmaji calls for Kuvera, and Kuvera agrees that I will serve you, Lord. I will offer you the property, I'll offer you the money, I'll offer you the wealth, all the treasury of the gods, and ultimately it belongs to you, but I will offer it to you for your marriage. And Lord Srinivasa says, thank you for this loan. I'm taking this loan from you. And Kubera asked, so what is the plan for paying back? And Lord Srinivasa said, my devotees will come for my darshan. They will pay for it. Right? So the devotees who go for taking darshan of Balaji, the place is known for offering charity. We offer donations. And these donations are for what? Kubera is taking that money, right? And eternally the marriage keeps on happening. Every day they do the marriage, right? And on special days, marriage of Lord Balaji happens, and the devotees are paying back the loan that the Lord took. And there's a whole story of how the Lord does not want to marry without the presence of Lakshmi Devi, and we really do not have time for it. I especially want to speak about. So that's the marriage happened. I can tell you this marriage happened between Srinivasa and Padmavati. But then Lakshmi ji is called for. And Lakshmi ji also arrives from Kolhapur. And then once important thing that happens there is, Bhrigu begs forgiveness from Lakshmi ji, and Lakshmi ji forgives him and says, okay, this was ultimately the pastime of the Lord, but Bhrigu begs forgiveness that I should not have committed that offense. So, yesterday I mentioned that I would like to speak on this aspect of uh, the great devotees of the Lord. So, one of the great devotees of Lord Balaji is, because our Radha Govind Sai Maharaj, one time in his Katha, he was mentioning that we should be more eager to hear Bhakta Katha than Krishna Katha. Right? So, everyone is intrigued. Why is Maharaj saying we should want to hear Bhakta Katha more than Krishna Katha? So, Maharaj said, because we want to become a Bhakta. That's why. The more we hear about devotees' Katha, how devotees perform devotional service. So we should want to hear Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is purifying, has a purifying effect on our heart, our relationship, our sambandha with the Lord. Once again, who is Krishna? Who am I? Who is the Lord? I am the eternal servant of the Lord. But the more we hear about the perfected servants of the Lord, the devotees who have perfected their devotional service, devotees who have pleased Krishna by their sincere service, that becomes a great inspiration for our practice. Right? That becomes, technically it is called Uddipan. Right? So there are many aspects for Uddipan, but another devotee's practice that inspires, that can inspire our devotional service also. So one time, Sri Ramanujacharya, who's the Acharya for the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya was conducting a meeting, and Srirangam is called Bhoga Mandapam, where beautiful, wonderful Bhoga is offered to the Lord. And the devotees are serving the Lord, wonderful Bhoga, and the Lord is enjoying that Bhoga. And Ramacharya was mentioning in his lecture at Srirangam there, when he was speaking, so many hundreds of sannyasis, thousands of brahmacharis, that was the era when Ramanujacharya was speaking, right? So, Ramacharya was explaining how Srirangam is Bhoga Mandapam, but Tirupati is Pushpa Mandapam, right? So, there is, I want to read this in Tamil. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it right, but he said, so Ramacharya said that Lord Balaji is always served with wonderful flower garlands, right? And Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayachati Tad Aham Bhakti Upahritam Ashnami Prayatatmanah. Srila Ramacharya quoted this verse and said, see, the Lord is expecting that we offer wonderful flowers to him, right? And Ramanujacharya, when he was living in Srirangam, he was known for his fearless preaching of Lord's glories. And then there was another devotee, his name is Anantacharya, Ananta Alvar, and he is famous for Kainkaryam. Ramanujacharya for glorifying the Lord, and Ananta Alvar for Kainkaryam. So, when Ramanujacharya in that assembly was speaking about how Lord Balaji is offered wonderful garlands, he had a desire. The Acharya got a desire that we should have nice pushkarini there, a small pond, and then we should also make some garden, beautiful garden there, where we can go grow flowers and offer it to Lord Balaji. The Acharya had this desire, and suddenly Ramacharya asked, anybody amongst you would like to go? Right? But nobody raised hand. Nobody got up that I can do this service, because everyone knew it was so difficult to go up those hills, and more than not just going up, to live on those hills, right, where hardly any people are staying there. But Anantacharya, who was an old man even at that time, he and his wife agreed, right? He and his wife agreed that that we will go and do this service. Chilu Puvagalim Tiruvayantakam. Am I right? Chilu Puvagilam Tiruyantakam, which means Balaji likes flowers very much. Right? So nobody agreed, but Anantacharya, he decided, oh my master, if you offer me your mercy, I can do this service. If this is your instruction and if this is your desire, Anantacharya requested that I will go. And Ramacharya proclaimed that I am so pleased with you. Ramacharya said, all my disciples are after knowledge, but you are the real Pillai. You are the real devotee of the Lord who wants to serve the Lord. And that day, Ananta Acharya, or Ananta, later called as Ananta Acharya or Ananta Alvar, Sri Ramanujacharya gave him the name Ananta Pillai, right, who is very dear to the Lord. So Ananta, to serve his guru, he started from Srirangam. He and his wife, they started from Srirangam all the way walking and to go up to Tirupati, to erect a beautiful garden for the pleasure of Lord Balaji, where beautiful flowers would grow and then garlands would be made, and Lord Balaji would be offered these flower garlands because the Acharya's desire is such. So both husband and wife, they reached up on the hills, and they decided, before we have the garden, we should make the pond first. And they decided, let us dig for the pond. And while the digging was going on, his wife, who was pregnant, right, Ananta Acharya, he would dig, and whatever mud was collected, dirt was collected, earth was collected, that his wife was supposed to, take from him, and then cover certain distance and throw it away, throw it at far distance. But Lord Balaji, he felt, that, Ananta is so old, his wife is pregnant, and they're doing this service for me. They're taking so much trouble. So the Lord Srinivasa decided, I want to do something about it. And Lord Srinivasa took a form of a small brahmachari, young boy, and he came to Ananta and said, Anantacharya, please allow me to help you. And Anantacharya said, no, you cannot. I cannot give you service. Said, why? You are old and your wife is pregnant. Why are you taking this trouble? I can help. And Anantacharya said, you get away from this place. This is the service given to me by my guru. I am supposed to be doing this service. I cannot share it with you. And the Lord said, okay, यहाँ दाल नहीं गलती, यहाँ पे कुछ हो नहीं रहा. Then what will happen? Okay, now I'll go to the lady. And he went to Ananta's wife and he requested, see, mother, I'm a small boy and I can help you. I can carry the mud, I can carry this to certain distance. He said, no, my husband, I saw, he's angry at you. I cannot do it. He'll get angry at me also. But then the Lord convinced the lady, saying, you walk a certain distance and then give it to me. Then I will carry it further. And this was going on. Then Ananta thought, there is some gadbad here. She would take a certain amount of time to carry the, the dirt to that much distance, and she's taking less time now. And Ananta, he thought, let me check. And he saw this boy. And Ananta got so angry. What is this? I told you this is my guru's service. I cannot share it with you. Why are you coming here? And Ananta started running behind. But this boy started running, and all that Ananta could do was, there was a crowbar, and this crowbar Ananta took and threw at this boy, and that hit his chin, right? And blood came from there, and this boy went running inside the altar, right? And Ananta came there and said, I cannot go inside the altar like this. The pujari has to come. And by the time the pujaris came, he said, one boy has entered the altar, call him out. And when they opened the altar, there was nobody. But Lord Balaji's, right, his chin, there was blood here, right? And they saw it, and then Ananta explained what happened. Then Ananta, on that day, Ananta offered a special herb mixed with, haldi and camphor and many herbs, and that was applied to Balaji. So even now you find, so the tilak has one instance of Balaji getting hit, right? And then the chin also has this. So those of you who have been to Tirupati up on the hill, when you go about roundabout in the queue for darshan, when you enter the main Gopuram, the main entrance, On the right side up, if you see there is a crowbar. The iron bar is still there, which hit the Lord, which Ananta had thrown. Right? Okay. Uh, One time, Anantacharya, this great devotee of Lord Balaji who was serving there, he was making garlands for the Lord. Right? So when he was making the garland, Lord told the pujari, call Ananta. I want him to come. I want to talk to him. Right? And Anantacharya told the pujari, I cannot come. I am busy in service. And pujari went back and told the Lord, Ananta does not come. He says he is busy in service. And the Lord said, no, go back, ask him. I am calling him. Why should he not come? And Anantacharya said, tell Lord, I am busy in service. Now these are buds, right? And this is the time I should sow them into the, and make nice garland out of it. Once it blooms, then the petals go off. And this is the time I am supposed to do this service. And the Lord said, what's going on? I don't need your service. I don't need your garlands, right? And Ananta said, see, I have not come here to serve you. I have come here to serve the instruction of my spiritual master, right? My spiritual master has given me service here, not you. You cannot drive me away from this place. I will remain here, right? And Ananta said, okay. So Ananta decided, okay, I am leaving this place. If this is how you are going to, disturb me in my service to my Guru, I am leaving this place. And Lord caught hold of Ananta's hand, right? So the garland was ready. Ananta has come with the garland. The Lord caught hold of Ananta's hand, right? So he has 4 hands, right? So with one hand, he caught hold of Ananta's hand, and with the other 2 hands, he wore the garland. Okay, Baba, I accept your service, right? And the Lord told Ananta, I was just testing your desire to serve and surrender the order of your Guru. I was testing you for that. How much are you? Right? Srila Prabhupada says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. When the spiritual master is pleased, one should understand that Krishna is pleased. So Lord Srinivasa was testing Anantacharya. Right? One time, Lord Balaji, very compassionate, and he's very beautiful, attracts millions of people every day. One time, Ananta, he made a garland to decorate the Lord. And that day he had put very nice flowers, colored flowers and some creepers, and very, very, decorative and fragrant flowers were offered that day. And when the garland was put on Lord Srinivasa, right, and Srinivasa was smiling, the Lord was smiling with such beautiful flowers have been offered. And the Lord asked Ananta, how am I looking, Ananta? How do I look? And Ananta Acharya said, oh, you are looking so beautiful, Lord. You look just like a fisherman. What? Somebody can say that, the Lord is like a moon and the Lord is like, a diamond. But what is this comparison to fisherman? And Ananta Acharya said, just as a fisherman puts his net and catches many fishes, you are spreading the net of your beauty and catching the conditioned souls, attracting the conditioned souls of this world. That's why I am saying that you look like a fisherman. One time, Ananta, when he was serving in the garden, he was bit. He had named the garden Ramanujan Nandanvan. That was the name of the garden, right? In the memory of a spiritual master. So when he was plucking flowers, he was bit by a snake, a poisonous snake, right? But he just continued his service. My Guru has given me this service. Even if I die, I'll continue this service. But what did he do? He just went to Pushkarini, Swami Pushkarini. He went and took bath there and he continued. Right? But now Ananta by this time had his disciples who got scared. And they went to Srinivasa, they went to Balaji and said, what do we do? He just continues his service. He doesn't want anyone to come in and take away his seva. Even the snake bite, the poison is spreading all over his body, but he wants to continue his service. And Lord personally asked Anantacharya, why don't you take some treatment from this snake bite? You should do something about it. And Anantacharya told the Lord, I have taken bath in Pushkarini. That is my medicine, right? That is sufficient, and I continue my service, right? But Lord said, no, no, I want you to take some medicine for this poison. And Anantacharya explained, already the poison of false ego, is spread all around my body. The poison of I and mine. This desire to satisfy one's own senses, this poison is spread all around my body. What will this mere poison of this snake will do? This worldly snake. He said, this, let us see which poison is more severe, the snake poison or the poison of this false ego, right? And Anantacharya said, the poison of ego is more dangerous as it will kill my soul. You don't worry, Lord, this poison will kill my body. And the Lord was so pleased with Ananta. He said, I am so fond of your association, Anantacharya. If you leave this body, whose association will I take? This Lord Srinivasa saying to, Anantacharya. And he said, Lord, you have your Dhanvantri and everyone. So many demigods are serving you, they have. One time, okay, I've got 10 minutes. Okay. Two more devotees I wanted to speak about. Yesterday, Durga Prasad Prabhu, Damodar Prasad Prabhu, sorry, Damodar Prasad Prabhu, when I said that I will speak about some Nitya Suris, some great devotees of Lord Balaji, he mentioned to me about Annamacharya, right? I was completely unaware of this devotee, but when he mentioned to me yesterday and he sent me some link, I went through it and I thought I can share that today as one of the great devotees of the Lord. This Tallipaka Annamacharya, he lived between 1408 to 1503. Right? So the contemporary of Lord Chaitanya that way. Right? And he composed Sankirtanas in the praise of Lord Venkateshwara, and he has written close to 32,000 Sankirtanas, 12 Shatakas, Ramayana in the form of Dvipada, and Sankirtan Lakshanam, the characteristics of Sankirtan, Sringara Manjari, and Venkatachal Mahatmyam. Right, a huge compilation, a great service this great devotee has done, and they were written in Telugu, Sanskrit, and some few other languages. Right? And these Sankirtanas were written on palm leaves during his time. Right? But later, for years, these bhajans, just like in Maharashtra we have Tukaram, many of the bhajans are part of folklore, and that's how they remained. Right? Similarly, for Annamacharya also, many of his bhajans were available like that. Everyone, they would sing, and they were all, ascribed to Annamacharya's bhajan. But these palm leaves were not available. So, I think this was, as per that website that I read, in 1922. Right? So, these were written 400 years ago, but in 1922, these 14,000 of these Sankirtanas, they were found written on copper plates. Right there in the temple premises, there was a room, a wall structure. When it fell off, they saw there were things inside, and when they saw these copper plates, and on these copper plates, all these bhajans were written. So Annamacharya, he is considered the incarnation of the Lord's sword, Venkateshwara's sword, Nandaka. Right? So the history goes that in the 10th century there was a big famine which broke out in Varanasi, and scores of scholars from Varanasi, they moved to southern part of India for their livelihood, and they reached a place called Nandavaram in Andhra Pradesh, where the place was ruled by King Nanda. And these immigrants there, they were called Nandavarikas, and Annamacharya's forefathers were Nandavarikas. They had moved from Varanasi. Right? So the history is that his grandfather, then his father, and then one Ghana Vishnu, when Annamacharya, Annamaya, was his previous name, and then he was given the name Annamacharya. At the age of 8, he met this sadhu, and he became, he kind of, got into the Vaishnavite tradition, and then he has written all these beautiful bhajans. So this is what Prabhuji told me yesterday. Apart from that, there is one another devotee, which is very famous devotee of Lord Balaji. When you go up the hill, you will see on the Gopuram, you will find, on the gate, you will find there is one sadhu, right? There's a dice game in front, and Lord Srinivasa is in front. And many people have this question, what's going on here? Why is the Lord playing dice? Who is this personality? Right? So on the hill, there is a Venugopal Swami temple, right? And close to Venugopal Swami temple is a samadhi, a samadhi of this devotee who is called Hathiram Baba, right? So what is the story of this Hathiram Baba? Actually, this personality, he belonged to northern India, was a great devotee of Lord Ram, and he came to Tirumala, Tirupati, to take darshan of the Lord, and his name was Bavaji, right? And he was so fascinated by the majestic appearance of the Lord, he would take darshan of Balaji and he would see Ram. He would take darshan of his Lord Ram. And he was very fond of this darshan. What did he do? He constructed a mutt, a place where he could live, close to the temple. And every day Babaji would go to take darshan of the Lord at least thrice a day. Every day, 3 times he would go to take darshan. Because this sadhu, this saint, he would not feel satisfied. No matter how much, he is there in front of the Lord, he is taking darshan, he never felt satisfied in his heart. He would stand there for a long time taking darshan, and this continued for weeks. But the temple, archakas and the temple security, they observed Babaji visiting like that at the temple and gazing at the Lord. They became suspicious. What's going on here? Why is this person watching, and taking darshan like this? Does he intend to steal? Is he observing what all ornaments are being put to the Lord? And they were suspicious, and they reported to the temple authorities. Next day again, Babaji, he entered the temple premises to take darshan, but this time they were prepared. When he came for darshan, he was pushed out of the temple. He was literally thrown out, and he could not understand. Is it bad to take darshan? Is it no more bhakti or what? To take darshan of the Lord. I'm standing there, I'm taking darshan, and nobody listened to his crying. What fault have I, what is my fault in this? And he was warned never to enter temple again for darshan. Dejected, Bhavji, he went to his mutt and he was crying. Oh my Ram, what is my fault? Is it a sin to take your darshan? Right? I can't live any longer. If I don't get your darshan, what is the use of my living? Why am I being punished in this way? And what am I supposed to do now? Next day morning, again Bhavji, he went to the temple as usual to take darshan of the Lord. Once again, he was pushed out of the gate. So a dejected Bhavji, he returned back to his mutt, and he was not sure, what should I do now? The only thing I knew was go and stand in front of the Lord and take darshan. My Ram. And that's how he would see Balaji. And he decided, let me spend time by, playing a dice game. And his way was, he put the dice board in front of him, and he assumed as if the Lord has appeared, and he's playing dice with him, right? And he would play, right? He would throw the dice, and the Lord would, dice, and he would, on behalf of the Lord, he would only throw the dice. So both sides, he was only the player, right? And this went on throughout the day, and then he fell asleep. When he was in his deep sleep, he heard a very pleasant voice calling him. And when he woke up, he saw Ram, my Ram. So Balaji was in front of him. When he opened his eyes, the Lord was standing right in front of him. And amazed, Balaji asked the Lord, what was my mistake? Why did you do this? The Lord said, no, don't worry about it. And he said, when I was playing dice, were you really around there? And the Lord said, yes, yes, I am right now also standing in front of you. And I was playing dice with you. And he said, let us play the game once again. Once again, the dice board was prepared. The Lord sat, he sat, the game began, and Bhavaji, he defeated Balaji. And Balaji said, now that you have defeated me, ask for a boon. What do you want? And Bhavaji said, oh my Lord, what can I ask you more than this? I am satisfied with your darshan. I do not need any material pleasure or wealth. Give me some little place at your lotus feet. That is all that I seek from you. I don't need any other favor. And the Lord blessed him and he vanished from there. Okay, your prayer will be granted. Right? Then every evening the Lord would come, right, to play the dice game. And when would the Lord come? After the darshan was closed in the night, the pujaris, the archakas would go away and the Lord would come from his Ananda Nilayam. Right? He had promised, every night I will come and play the game with you. And after finishing the game, the Lord would go back. So one day, when the Lord was playing dice with Bhavaji, he heard a voice of somebody calling Bhavaji. So the game is going on. The Lord is sitting there, Bhavaji is there, somebody calling Bhavaji. And Bhavaji ran, who's there, who's there? By the time he came back, he saw the Lord is not around. Right? He was amazed, where did the Lord go? But what happened? A diamond-studded necklace of Lord Balaji was lying there on the dice board. When he came back, and he said, what do I do? The Lord has gone away from here, but this diamond necklace is there. He picked it up and kept it in a safe nicely, because maybe the Lord forgot it and tomorrow when he comes, he will ask for it, so I'll give it back. Next morning when the Pradhan Archaka, he was getting ready to do the Abhishek of the Lord, and the previous days, ornaments were to be taken off, the Pradhan Archaka saw that the necklace is not there. He reported to the temple authorities. Everyone ran about, where is the necklace? Where is the necklace? They tried to inquire, and then they all came to one conclusion. There was one guy who would come every day, and we had actually thrown him off. Let us go and find out. This Bhavaji stays in that small hut. We should go there and catch him red-handed. And when these soldiers came, these Lord's servants, they came, what was going on? He was arranging the game of dice. And for long the Lord had not come to play. But when these people came at the doorstep, he opened the door and he said, yes, yes, what happened? And they pushed him aside and said, we want to go in and see. What do you want to see? And when they went in, they saw this necklace, right, lying there. And he said, yes, yes, I have kept it. I know it belongs to the Lord. He would come and play dice with me. And he was like, what? Playing dice? What kind of stories are being cooked up here? Balaji does not come like this. He does not play dice with anybody. You are cooking up the story. And then the matter was given to the king, Krishna Devaraya. The matter was sent there. And Krishna Devaraya somehow thought, he seems to be a good devotee. He doesn't seem to be, after any wealth or anything. And Krishna Devaraya decided, we will offer a test to test Bhavaji. Is he really sincere? So Krishna Devaraya told Bhavaji that he will be given an opportunity to prove that he is innocent. And for this, what was done? Bhavaji was to be put in a prison cell. And in the prison cell, they would dump heap of sugarcane in the cell. And if Bhavaji was successful in consuming the heaps of sugarcane throughout the night, if he finishes it, then he would be considered innocent and released. Right? And now Bhavaji thought, what is this? What is going on? What kind of, right? And if he does not eat, if he does not consume it, finish it, then he would be considered the thief. So Bhavaji was never perturbed. Okay, no problem. If this is what my Lord wants me to go through, no problem. He was put in the jail, and the heaps of sugarcane was put into it. Right? He accepted the emperor's decision, and the prison cell was prepared, and he was thrown in like that. And Bhavaji sat in corner with this heap of sugarcane. What do I do with this? I'm supposed to be eating this. He just closed his eyes and prayed to Srinivasa. Oh Lord, I don't know what you're doing with me. I had a simple prayer. Please give me some place at your lotus feet. I didn't ask for a jail. I didn't ask for this heap of sugarcane. How do I eat it? And what kind of a test is this? He said, hey Ram, it's not my test. It is your test. You do something about it now. Right? So, a little later, suddenly a giant elephant appeared in the prison cell. And this giant elephant ate all the heaps of sugarcane that was dumped there. And when Babaji saw, when he opened his eyes and he saw this elephant in front of it, what did he do? He once again proclaimed, Ram, 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 my Lord, you are here, my Lord, you are here. Right? He understood that the Lord has appeared to rescue him. He immediately fell upon the Lord's feet and he cried, Oh Ram, oh Ram. So how lucky am I, oh Lord, you have come here to save me. And on hearing the elephant raise his trunk and create that loud noise, the guards came by. They were peeping in and they were wonderstruck. What? How did this elephant, all doors are locked, everything is, nothing is open. How did this elephant enter the prison cell? And they immediately rushed to the authorities. They informed the matter. And by the time they opened the door, the elephant, suddenly vanished. It disappeared. Then the Emperor Krishnadev Raya visited Babaji in the prison cell. And he was amazed to hear the whole story. But what was Babaji doing by now? He was only chanting one name, Hati Ram. All this time he was saying Ram, Ram. Now he was saying Hati Ram, Hati Ram, Hati Ram, Hati Ram. And he was telling everyone, oh, my Ram appeared to me as Hati, as elephant. And everyone understood, oh, what a great devotee is this Babaji. And on that day, the King Krishnadev Rai, he made Hatiram Baba. Now his name became Hatiram Baba. And he was given the position of the Pradhana Archaka by Krishnadev Rai. He was relieved of all the charges, appointed as Pradhana Archaka of the temple at Tirupati Tirumala. And Babaji was always serving Balaji as his very dear Sri Ram. And he was known as Hatiram Baba. Right? For many years he served the Lord, and later when he left his body, right, his samadhi is at the Venugopal Swami temple. Whenever we go, we can take darshan there. So Hatiram Baba Mutt is also on the southern side of the Balaji temple. When we go in the queue for darshan, we'll see there. And the southern side, Hatiram Baba, for remembering him, his pure devotional service to the Lord, and how Lord appeared to him, and later he became the Pradhana Archaka of Lord Balaji, that Sannidhi is made. So this way we discussed today that it's already 9:05. I have crossed beyond time. So we discussed how Mother Lakshmi went to Kolhapur, and then Padmavati's appearance, and the marriage of Srinivasa and Padmavati. And especially we could discuss about the three great devotees, Anantacharya, Annamacharya, and Hatiram Baba. Thank you very much. Shivalaji Bhagavan ki jai. Shri Srinivas Balaji Bhagavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Okay. We'll do Kirtan for 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Neel Madhav Radha Neel Madhav Radhe Srinivasa Govinda Venkataramana Govinda Srinivasa Govinda Venkataramana Govinda Jai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol. Jai Srinivasa Venkata Balaji Bhagavan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, we would like to thank the entire temple management of VCC ISKCON Seattle. Especially I would like to thank His Holiness Hari Vilas Maharaj and the wonderful team, right, who gave me a chance to share some Balaji Katha with all of you. And I pray that very soon you all open the Lord Balaji Temple at Bellevue and you all can begin the service of the Lord there. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. So we would like to thank His Grace Kanai Thakur Prabhu for giving exactly the herbs that we needed. In the Katha we heard how the right herbs were applied for the right places at the right time. We wanted to do some group japa. Prabhuji was here and we had an ecstatic Japa camp. After that, we are building a Balaji temple. So people were missing the Balaji Katha. So he has brought Balaji Katha to us. So let's thank His Grace Kanai Thakur Prabhu by saying Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna.